Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, guys. How have you been?
What's been popping?
Popping.
What's been popping?
Poppy. I said something before we switched on the cameras, and Mike was like,
Anti blah
blah.
She went, why don't we?
No,
I've exposed you on the international internet.
No, please. Just no. Thank you.
Okay, I'll honor her request.
Thank you.
But Auntie Blah is Auntie Blahing showing our age.
I have my moments.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So guys, as you saw last episode, we were sweating. It is still quite hot. It's not as
We are
hot.
still sweating.
It's not as hot as it was last week. Last week was actually quite difficult to do. I'm going to be honest with you.
It was a tough episode.
It was very tough.
I won't even lie.
I honestly, I don't even want to watch the episode. I don't think have you watched it?
I think I just about not even watched it. I just about top and tailed it and just uploaded it. Plus halfway through, in case you hadn't noticed, our camera stopped working, and so it was just like the camera was also hot.
Yep, because it was like I can't do this. I can't do this.
I'm not doing it anymore. So he just stopped working, went to sleep.
Yeah.
So we were like, hold on a second, one of the children are awake. Who's that? Can you go to bed, please? See what we have to do with on air. You see?
It is well.
I told them to fill their bottles.
It's
Anyways.
hot, so everybody has to keep hydrated.
Yes, it is hot. And there's some people which don't listen when I tell them to do things. But that's parenting for you. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
So guys.
Shall we get straight into it?
Yes.
Today we are going to read Genesis 14. Are we on the 14th episode?
We're in the 40. It's 14 episodes. Cheese.
And bread.
That's me being current as well. Let me see. Going into the recents.
Okay, so...
Good night. Yeah, going into the recents. Okay, so Abraham and Lot just separated. They're walking around with all this cattle. All this cattle. And now the drama is getting even hotter.
I think this is apparently a little bit of anyways, this is apparently the first type of warfare-ish in the Bible.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That's some pre-reading. Gotta do some research.
Gotta do some research.
But
yeah.
Okay. All right. I did say I wanted to talk about apologetics this episode.
Did you do any research?
But I can't remember what I wanted to talk about. This is the thing. This is why you have to write things down, guys. Write things down. I know last episode I was like, I want to talk about apologetics. But between last episode and now, I couldn't remember specifically what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Speaking about apologetics, Preston Perry did one of those. Preston Perry is one of these podcasters / influencers / whatever. He does a lot of things, authors, all these type of things. And he's an apologist. And he did kind of like a Q&A on Instagram. And one of the questions were, how do you minister to somebody that says, if God is real, why is there so much war and bad things in the world? And then he came from it from a very interesting angle. He was like, first, you need to ask them what they consider. Because So the question was, if God is good,
why are there so many
why
bad
is there
things?
so many bad things in the world? Why is there war? And then he came from it from a very interesting angle. He said, first, you need to establish what they consider is good. And I was like, I've never really thought of it that way. So, like with cells, obviously it's not the same thing, ministering and, whatever, but you're kind of telling God, where you're not.
Go. We're listening.
So when I'm doing cells, because we obviously have an enterprise product, one of the major things that I tend to do, and it's something that I've been doing for years, is I tend to ask questions. When you ask questions, it allows you to know what they need. Because if you're asking them questions, so instead of it just being pure cells, I'm going just speaking at them. I'm like, where do you see this, where do you see this integrating in your workplace, or how, what have you done in the past, and da 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 da. So you're asking certain questions to establish their understanding of certain things, or to establish where you think you can kind of slip in, kind of thing. And with his take, it reminded me immediately of cells. Like, you need to establish what their idea of good is. And I was like, oh, because I've obviously had that question before. And whenever I speak to somebody about it, my approach has always been that obviously we have free will. People choose to use their free will differently. That's what I've always said. We all have free will. God hasn't created robots. He's created people. He's created us in his own image. And sometimes people can choose to do good. Sometimes people can choose to do bad. For example, if are you okay, babe?
Yeah, I'm just
Paranoid.
after the last episode, I'm just paranoid. So I'm just checking that everything is still ticking along.
Yeah. So, for example, in one chapter in the Bible, the Israelites were just one of the particular families of the Israelites. I don't know if it's the tribe of, the one that got swallowed up from the ground. Was it Benjamin?
The sons of Korah, I think.
But anyways, it's a particular family. They were just moving.
Hold on. We got the internet here. Go.
But yeah, so God chose in that moment, because he was speaking to Moses, I'm going to do this. And Moses, please. And then he's like, because it was going to swallow everybody up. And Moses was like, oh, come on, let's intercede. Moses spent a lot of time interceding on behalf of everybody, speaking to God. And that's what interceding is, isn't it? You're speaking to God on behalf of everybody else or somebody or whatever. And in that situation, there was one particular family, and then the floor was swallowed them up. And the thing is that as well in the Bible,
Korah, yeah.
Korah, okay. So then in that situation, because people can say, oh, if God is God and he knows everything, why is it that he's allowed these things to happen? Why is it that he allowed sin to happen? And I think that my usual response is that there's always his will, and his perfect will,
his acceptable will.
Yeah. So I've always said, but I feel like now looking at it from Preston Perry's point of view is, let's ask them questions. What do you consider good? What have you experienced to make you feel this way towards God? Because loads of people have experienced a lot of traumatic things. Me being one of them, I've experienced some extreme levels of trauma, and it's very easy to be angry. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you've experienced terrible trauma, you're like, why me?
Yeah.
Why did I have to be that person to experience it? How does a good God allow something so bad to happen? So whenever people say that and ask me that question, I always sympathize with them, because I get it. Some people experiencing, they're mourning the loss of somebody that they really love due to a really terrible sickness, or they have experienced really bad things, and they're thinking, why? So it's reading the questions and his responses from it was very interesting, and I do really like seeing how an apologist kind of approaches things, because they're so used to people asking them questions, and they're so used to having a response to
they're like your super objective handlers.
Yeah.
Objection handlers, yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, like with sales for our enterprise product, a lot of the time, I'm always so grateful to even have an opportunity to speak to a company. And it's usually because I know that every meeting, every time I have an opportunity to speak to somebody, I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn how to handle any potential objection. I'm going to learn how to potentially deal with certain personalities. I'm going to There's going to be questions that I typically wouldn't have known the answer to, but by the grace of God, sometimes by the end of it, it's like, because you're in that pressure cooker.
Yeah.
You're
in the moment.
You're in the moment. So a lot of the time, what I find, like, because Mike would listen, he'll be like watching, and he'll be watching me do like a meeting. He'll be like, I would not have known how to respond to that.
Yeah, so quick.
And but after the meeting, I'm like, I don't even know how I responded to that. So that's why it's so important. A lot of the time during the meetings, I'm like, before the meetings, I'm like, God,
you got to speak through me, Lord.
You got to speak. You're the CEO of this company. I'm just the vessel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So please, Lord, you do what only you can do. So when I have these situations, and it's like,
Yeah.
I have the privilege of actually learning to improve and to refine the answers and stuff like that. So it's a privilege. So same with ministering and evangelizing.
You gotta find the little doorways.
Yeah, you get the opportunity and you see, okay, so he's like, so how Preston Perry deals with it is asking questions. Okay, so I should see it exactly the same way as I would have maybe approached a client or whatever.
That's interesting. You mentioned about, just before we get stuck in, you mentioned about how he questions what people's definition of good is. Because it's funny, because in whatever circle you run in, everyone has their own definition of good.
Good, yeah.
You might have two very questionable individuals who do very questionable things to other people, and you ask them, do you think this person is a good person? They'll be like, yeah, but this person does heinous things.
Yeah, definitely. And it's really interesting because even when we're refining the product that Mike is the CEO, when we were building when I was building the algorithm and having to kind of create how the bio is built, there was a lot that I had to do when building the algorithm to make anybody, to be honest, sound somewhat
decent,
acceptable.
Yeah.
And some people might be interesting, like you said. And the last thing we want is to create a product that has personal bias associated with it.
A lot of frameworks been put in place to try our best to mitigate somewhat what is considered good.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, the product, because we've created something to help people find value-based friendships. So when building the algorithm to do that, it was very difficult because it is easy to kind of put in somebody who from the outside, depending on what type of circles you walk in, depending on the type of circles you're in, that a particular person might seem quite dark and interesting. Let's just say interesting, right? Just to be politically correct. But then for somebody looking for that exact same person, that is exactly who they're looking for. They're into hunting and perhaps like taxidermy and all these type of things. That's something that they're passionate about, and they want somebody that they can share that with.
Yeah.
So the only way so we had to create an algorithm that was going to position these people in the best way possible and not create a bias. And I feel like it's easy to approach any type of like evangelism with your bias in the back of your mind. So it's almost like having to create an algorithm in your mind, like, right, everybody I meet, so it sounds, I'm sounding proper nerdy in a way, but every single person that I meet, I need to be mindful
of my own biases.
Of my own personal biases.
Hence why the active listening is important. So you can find out what they consider good, what has happened to them to make them feel a particular way, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It's an art, it's a craft, man.
Yeah, it's a craft. Honestly, we met a young, who's really, really young Christian. I think he was like 19. And he's doing 2 a.m. evangelism. We were just in awe.
Bro, 2 a.m. evangelism at our age right now, I'm not sure, man.
I'm not sure. I'm
I'm
not
not
sure.
sure. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. But when we met him, we were like, whew, you're on fire.
I remember we used to do stuff like that.
Yeah,
at
but
that
it's
age.
just like, you're on fire. I mean, I just love it, man. And I was like, I just pray that God will continue to use you. But it's just, taking advantage of the fact that because obviously he's 19, he's in uni, so all these club people, when they're coming back from the raves, him speaking to them and just speaking life into these people. And
not necessarily Bible bashing, but just having a convo.
Just having a conversation. And it's so beautiful how the Lord is using different people in different ways. And I actually think that most people that evangelize on a regular basis are kind of apologists, because you'll get used to certain questions and you'll know how to kind of respond to those questions on a quicker.
And you start to decipher certain personalities off the bat, and their temperaments, their temperaments, and how they particularly reason.
But yeah, man.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's really cool.
Here we go. So I guess we had a conversation about apologetics. But yeah, man, I love those guys. I'm in such awe of those guys. It's like, for example, in our world and in design, we're brand designers, but I really have a very strong appreciation for data designers, guys who design data and make it look so visual and very cool and all that. I don't know how their brain gets to that sphere of thinking, but I really appreciate them. Like, I love them. So I appreciate apologists in the same way, in the sense of how did you craft that response in a way that was so articulate, non-confrontational, challenging, and at the same time you got the word hitting where it needed. Is a craftsman.
There's this one guy, I can't remember his name, but he was a Muslim. I can't remember because our elders wanted.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But he was an apologist, and his target audience were Muslims.
Yeah.
And this is why I said that I feel like most of the apologists. I don't even know if we're saying it correctly, but most of these apologists, I just call them evangelists, basically, right? But most of these apologists, they have a particular area of expertise. So, like you have the Hebrew Israelites, they'll target those people, or the people that are, some people that are situated in Israel and just speaking to God's people that, God's chosen people directly or whatever. You have people that are in certain areas, certain walks of life, certain lifestyle choices. You have people, and the thing is, this is why I always say that every choice that you make, every lifestyle, everything that's happened in your life, from my personal opinion, that's why in the Bible says the Lord, basically, those who love the Lord, God makes everything work out for our good. And I feel
everything works out for those who love the Lord and are called by it.
According to his
God, for those who love the Lord, God causes all things to work out for their good, according, paraphrasing, for those who are called and who love the Lord.
Yeah.
God makes everything work out for you.
It's basically what I said. But yeah.
I try to remember, because it's one of my favorite scriptures. I try to remember it.
And I feel like I hold on to that. Most of the scriptures are paraphrased in my mind. Okay. So that's why I wouldn't necessarily memorize them to the
word
T,
for word,
word for word,
NLT, NIV.
but I have them in my mind to hold on to. So whenever I think of the trauma that I've experienced, or whenever I think of something bad that's happened in my life, I'm just like, okay, well, God, you finna use that because I didn't go through that for nothing. So whenever I see certain people and they've gone through horrible things, in my mind, I'm always wondering, what is God going to use that for? Do you know what I mean? So, let's say, for example, you've got people that they've experienced domestic violence, and then, they get freed from that experience. They escape. Then they can speak to other people, other women or men that have experienced that. Do you know what I mean? And even like, the people that are nighttime ballerinas. Yeah. You got people that they've done that as a
I don't know
job.
why I really love that term.
Yeah. And that's the experience that they had. There's so many things that lead people into that lifestyle. So many things. Because people are so quick to judge because, the world is a judgmental world, I guess. But people are very quick to judge, but there's a lot of things that lead people down that road. It could be that they were molested. It could be that there's so many different things that lead people down that road that makes them make certain lifestyle choices. And you look at them and you think, well, they've chosen to do it. Nobody's holding it.
Chances are they've been thrown into that situation.
They've been thrown into it, or there's a lot of psychological things that are linked to it, or they think that they're reclaiming something. There's so many different things associated with it. The moment that the Lord delivers them from that, then they can be used to be deliverers as well. Do you know what I mean? God can use them as like a Moses in that industry or whatever. So even though people have experienced certain things that are really bad, I feel like, and a lot of the time, it takes a long time to get to that point where you're like, okay, God, use me. This is what I've been through. Use me.
Yeah.
Use me. I surrender. And
then there's the whole process of that.
Yeah, that's that process. But then you look at all the people that are apologists. Sometimes they've perhaps come from a certain book, sometimes a background or cult or whatever, and they know that place inside out, and the Lord has revealed the truth to them. So they're able to give that, to help other people that are also in that situation.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. It does.
Yeah.
Because they've experienced it, so they're able to speak on that particular situation.
Yeah. And because a lot of the time we watch them like, wow, how do they have all that knowledge? But if they walked that lifestyle, then it's easy for them to, like gangbangers, like people that used to be in a gang, they can be apologists to people in gangs.
That's true.
They know exactly the road that led, they know the road that led them there, but they might also know the road that led their friends to the same place. So it's easier for them to speak to those people.
Yeah, well, designers can be apologists to other designers so that people see God's creation in all things.
Yeah, exactly. I think so, yeah.
The faithful creative, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But yeah, our platform that we created is called friendsift.com. Check that out. And if you're looking for friends as an adult, by all means. If you also care about how you sound before you hit a message, Tonely, use tonely.ai.
Yeah, use Tonely. So tone.
With a Lee, with a L-Y.
Yeah.
Tonely.
Yeah. Trust me, it didn't.
Trust me, we've been doing a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
You should be able to find it now. But yeah, all right. So we've warmed up, and I feel like I needed that conversation, and I heard that conversation, and it was a good one. Thank God. Thank God.
Genesis 14.
Genesis chapter 14. Now, as I say every single episode, we're looking at the ICB. One day I might just switch up and people are like, well, we're looking at KJV today. But no, don't worry.
I promise you Mike's not going to do that.
Oh, don't dare me.
Well, you know what?
Don't dare me.
When we met a long time ago, there was times that I'd say, I used to be a little bit extra. And sometimes I'll speak to him. Don't swallow it. Say what you want to say, babe.
You said a little bit extra.
Okay. So I used to say things. Sometimes I'll speak to him, like I'll call him and I'll speak to him in old English. Do you remember those days? And you'd be like, what are you saying?
What is this Shakespeare you speak of?
What are you saying? It was just because I was just trolling him. And then he was like, why are you doing this? I was just...
It looks like something she'll do, isn't it? Yeah.
But yeah, I remember those days. It was good.
Yeah. The days where she used to troll me just for fun.
Just for fun.
We still do it. Yeah. Just trolling in other ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, one day I might just switch it up on you guys. But as for now, as of today, Genesis chapter 14 is in the ICB. by all means, we like the ICB, the International Children's Bible, because the English is super, super, super simple.
And we are children of God.
And we are children of God, as Blessing always reminds us. It's funny when we go to church and we're about to pull out to the car park and they're like, do you have any children in the back? I'm like, yeah, I got 2 children. Any babies? Yes, my 2 babies. How old are they? They are 11 and 7. Those are big babies, though. Yes, but they are my babies. And they usually let us in.
11 and 7?
No?
11 and 7?
Yeah, I was just switching it off of the internet.
Okay, fair enough, yeah.
Don't let you know my baby's real ages.
Sure.
Okay, we digress. Genesis chapter 14, follow along with whichever translation that you like. But yeah, we're going to read, and then Blessing's going to show us some research.
Not that much.
And then we're going to dissect.
This one is...
There's a lot.
No, it's not a lot, but it's quite...
It's not that long.
It's not that long, but there's a bit of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes, like, in case this is your first episode, which I highly recommend you start from episode 1, but hey, we're here. There are some... You might read a sentence in the Bible that's not entirely clear, or the word that just doesn't fully make sense in English. What Blessing does is she goes in and goes to the original Hebrew, and she'll be like, well, you know, that word that they used, it was actually this word, and this word actually means this. So therefore, when you read like this, it actually means da-da-da-da-da of this. And you're like, oh yeah, makes so much sense. Not to say that the Bible, you know, is confusing.
It's
but
just been translated and things have been lost in translation.
Yeah, because English is not the most straightforward language, believe it or not. It's not.
I promise you it's not.
It's not.
It's not. There was a point when I was teaching English, and when I was teaching, I was like, this language.
So you say very complicated
It's actually
language.
quite complicated because I'll teach it, and then I would actually have to think myself, like,
Is that correct? I mean, I've only known English all my life, but do I know English?
do I actually know it?
Are we in the box?
I'm going to be honest with you.
What does
How many
Aristotle say about
lessons-
this?
Whenever I teach my students,
It makes you question yourself, doesn't
oh
it?
my gosh, I was like, do so much research afterwards. Like, oh my goodness.
Also, it also begs that the people who used to give you the content, were they English?
That's so interesting.
That's another layer of
But a
complexity.
lot of the time, what would happen is they'll give me content, I'll just discard it, and I'll just do my own lesson. I'd use the base text as more of a foundation, as inspiration. But the stuff that they gave me,
The English wasn't English neither.
no,
There you go.
no, because I was teaching Chinese people, people from China, people from Japan as well, and people from mainly Chinese, basically mainly China and Japan. And I'm pretty sure that the people that gave me the material were Chinese, and it was given Chinglish.
It was for real.
It was given Chinglish, but
It is what it is.
is what it is.
By the way, your auntie here used to be able to speak fluent Chinese and Japanese once upon a time. I'm sure it's still in there.
I haven't done it. I haven't spoken.
I'm sure if I put the Bible in front of her and it's all in Chinese, she'd be able to be like, "Oh, this
Definitely
is easy."
not. Definitely not.
No,
No.
in opinion,
Definitely.
opinion Bible. Next episode. Stay tuned. All right.
let's take it
Okay, we're
seriously.
playing too much. All right. Genesis chapter 14. Lot is captured. Now, Amraphel was the king of Babylonia. Arioch was the king of Elasar. Kedorlaomer was the king of Elam. And Tidal was the king of Goim. All these kings went to war against several other kings. Bera, king of Sodom. Bersha, the king of Gomorrah. Shinab, king of Admah. Shemba, king of Zeboim. And the king of Bela. Bela was also called Zoar. These kings who were attacked united their armies in the valley of Sidon. The valley of Sidon is now the unalive sea. These kings had served Kedorlaomer for 12 years, but in the 13th year they all turned against him. Then in the 14th year, Kedorlaomer and the kings with him came and defeated the Rephaites in Ashtaroth Karnaim. Bruv.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Thank you. They also, what you don't hear is our children are very, very much awake in the background. They're meant to be asleep, but they're loud. So I'm slightly distracted. So forgive me. They also defeated the Zuzites in Ham and the Emites in Sheva Kiriathaim. And they defeated the Horites in the mountains of Edom to El Paran. El Paran is near the desert. Then they turned back and went to En Mishpat, that is Kadesh. They defeated all the Amalekites. They also defeated the Amorites who lived in Hazazon Tamar. At that time, the kings of Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, Zeboim, and Bela went out to fight in the valley of Siddim. Bela is called Zoar. They fought against Keladoma, the king of Elam, Tidal, the king of Goim, Amraphel, the king of Babylonia, and Arioch, the king of Elasa. So there were 4 kings fighting against 5. There were many tar pits in the valley of Siddim. The kings of Sodom and Gomorrah and their armies ran away. Some of the soldiers fell into the tar pits, but the others ran away to the mountains. Now, Chedorlaomer and his army took everything the people of Sodom and Gomorrah owned. They also took all their food. They took Lot, Abram's nephew, who was living in Sodom. Can you imagine? He's now in Sodom. Anyways, that's a different discussion that we had 2 episodes ago. The enemy also took everything he owned. Then they left. One of the men who was not captured went to Abram, the Hebrew. He told Abram what had happened. At that time, Abram camped near the trees of Mamre and the Amorite. Near the great trees, of Mamre, the Mamorite. Mamre was the brother of Eshcol and the brother of Aner, and they all made an agreement to help Abram. Verse 14. Beg your pardon. Abram learned that Lot had been captured. So he called out his 318 trained men who had been born in his camp. Abram led the men and chased the enemy all the way down to the town of Dan. That night he divided his men into groups, and they made a surprise attack against the enemy. They chased them all the way to Hobah, north of Damascus. Then Abram brought back everything the enemy had stolen. Abram brought back the women and the other people. He also brought back Lot and everything Lot owned. After defeating Chedorlaomer and the kings who were with him, Abram went home. As Abram was returning, the king of Sodom came out to meet him in the valley of Shepher. This is now called the King's Valley. Melchizedek, king of Salem, who also went out to meet Abram. Melchizedek was a priest for God the Most High. He brought bread and wine. Melchizedek blessed Abraham, and Melchizedek blessed Abraham and said, Abraham, may the God Most High give you blessings. God made heaven and earth. And we praise God Most High. He has helped you defeat your enemies. Then Abraham gave Melchizedek 1/10 of everything he had brought back from the battle. Then the king of Sodom said to Abraham, you may keep all these things for yourself. Just give me my people who were captured. But Abraham said to the king of Sodom, I make a promise to the Lord. He is the God Most High, who made heaven and earth. I promise that I will not keep anything that is yours. I will not keep even a thread or sandal strap. That way, you cannot say, I made Abraham rich. I will keep nothing but the food my young men have eaten. But give Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre their share of what we won. They went with me into battle. Amen.
Okay, amen. So from what I read, what?
Go. You don't have your device today.
Oh no, I do have my device.
All right.
But from what I read,
This
this was the first
war.
This was that was that in the Bible, and this was the first voluntary tithe. This is kind of where the whole tithe came from.
The 10th.
The 10th tithe came from.
Of everything he gained from the spoils.
From the spoils. And this is the thing, he chose to give it. It's not like Melchizedek asked for it. He gave it. And this is where it came from. And also it was a way of him basically honoring the Lord. It wasn't something imposed on him. It was not something that was forced. It was just a way of saying, I'm honoring the Lord by giving this tithe, a tenth kind of thing. And Melchizedek is actually supposed to be a foreshadowing
Of Christ.
Of Christ. So just
His profile is very very blotchy here.
Yeah. So then him rejecting what the Sodom king gave, he was again also relying on the Lord for his wealth and not on man. Hence why he said, I don't want you to say that I'm the one who made you rich. So he was again, after he had given the 10th tithe, given the 10% of what he had made through the spoils of the war, he additionally rejected what he could have accepted and kept all of the stuff, but he didn't want to keep it because he wanted to kind of solely rely on the Lord. Another thing as well is that the fact that he had 318 men that were able to fight.
It's a tiny amount of men.
But that's a lot for one particular person. So that was a lot. That was considered somewhat like his bodyguards. So he had basically 318 bodyguards, which is quite a lot, which would have meant, and that's men, that's not including the women and children, which means that he could have easily had about 1,500 people within his camp. His camp alone.
Oh, just people that's just in his kingdom.
Yeah, that were born within his camp and stuff. So let me bring out my...
So the 318 guys were basically his officers, his army.
His army, yeah.
So one man had a whole army of 318 people that went out to more than all the other armies.
Which is quite a lot for one, amount kind of thing. So in Genesis 14:10, there's a word here, be'erot. Let me spell it because you guys, if you've watched and listened to any of our other episodes, you know that I spell it out to you first and then I butcher it with pronunciation. So that's let's not break tradition. So it's spelled BE''EROT, BE''EROT, CHEMAR. Now the pronunciation, be'erot chemar. Okay, so
that wasn't butchered. That was lovely.
Thank you. I try. Pits of bitumen. So typical commentary. The battlefield where the 5 kings of the plain, including Sodom, fight the 4 Mesopotamian kings is the valley of Sidon. The text notes it was full of tar pits. The repetition of the word berot, pits, in Hebrew emphasizes how treacherous the terrain was. Literally nothing but pits. The local kings of Sodom and Gomorrah get bogged down and trapped in the tar, leading to their catastrophic defeat and Lot's capture.
Sorry, and so I just noticed that in verse 10, there were many tar pits in the valley of Sidon. The kings of Sodom and Gomorrah and their armies ran away. Some of the other soldiers fell into the tar pits, but the others ran away to the mountains.
So that was in Genesis.
So the fact that was mentioned twice was quite significant.
Yeah. Interesting fact, economic context. Bitumen, chemar, was the crude oil or asphalt of the ancient world. It was incredibly valuable, used as mortar for bricks like the Tower of Babel in Genesis 11 and for waterproofing ships. The Valley of Sidon was essentially an ancient Middle Eastern oil field. The Mesopotamian kings likely invaded not just to punish a rebellion, but to seize control of the highly lucrative natural resources. Nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed at all.
Nothing has changed.
Leaders are still doing it till this day.
Till this day.
Till this day.
Till this day.
Jeez.
Okay, so Genesis 14:13. Spelling is HA'LVRI. Pronunciation, Ha'ivri.
Yeah.
The Hebrew, the one who crossed over. So typical commentary, a survivor.
Oh, that means the Hebrew.
Yeah.
When it was Abraham the Hebrew.
Yeah.
Okay. Abraham, the one who crossed
Genesis
over.
14:13. The survivor escapes the battle and reports Lot's capture to Abram and Abram the Hebrew. This is the very first time the word Hebrew is used in the Bible.
Interesting.
It's
That's the rule of first mention.
Yeah. It stems from the root ever, meaning the other side or the crossover, spiritually and geographically. Abram was the man who crossed over the Euphrates River, leaving pagan Mesopotamia behind to follow God. Historical context: in ancient Near Eastern records, like the Amarna letters, there is frequent mention of a social class of people called the Habiru or Apiru. These were not necessarily an ethnic group, but a social class of stateless nomads, mercenaries, and outcasts who lived on the fringes of settled society. To the Canaanites, Abram was a classic Habiru, a powerful, independent, nomadic warlord who recognized no local king's authority. That's
I mean, if he showed it, he had his own army.
So basically, he was a traveler.
Yeah.
He was a traveler. So because pretty much whenever you meet travelers, they have their own rules, to be honest.
They just operate by their own thing. They go on their own journeys, do their own thing.
Yeah.
And clearly have their own army.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
Mm.
A new word here. This is for Genesis 14:14. CHANICHAV. Chanichav. Okay. Chanichav. His trained men, his initiated ones. When Abram hears his nephew Lot is taken, he doesn't pray for a miracle. He arms his 318 Chanichav trained men born in his household and launches a daring night rescue mission.
Bruv.
This shatters the Sunday school image of Abram as a quiet elderly shepherd. He was the commander of a highly disciplined private
Bruv, he's like, let's go. Strap up, let's go.
Interesting fact. 318 armed men is a massive private army. In the ancient world, an army requires logistics. If Abram had 318 adult male warriors born in his household, his total encampment, including women, children, and older men, would have numbered easily between 1,500 and 2,000 people outfitting.
Like you were saying.
Yeah, 318 soldiers with Bronze Age weapons, armor, provisions was astronomically expensive. Today, equipping and paying a private security force of 300 plus elite contractors would cost millions of dollars annually. This detail proves Abram was a geopolitical force to be reckoned with.
He was loaded. That would have been nothing for him, surely.
Yeah, and rabbinic Midrash.
The Midrash. Go on.
The Hebrew letters for Abram's servant Eliezer have a gematria, numerical value of exactly 318. Some ancient rabbis playfully suggested Abram didn't take an army at all, but only took his one trusted servant, and God did the rest.
We need to see the evidence, bruv. I need to see the additional texts that complement what we just read.
Why?
Because we read 300 trained men. The Hebrew said 300 trained initiated men. The Midrash.
That's just their opinion.
Yeah, but the Midrash says only like.
That's just their opinion.
It's just one man God did the rest.
Yeah, but that's just their opinion.
Yeah.
The Bible
I'm saying,
says
what is
the Bible it says it, so we should just believe what the Bible says.
No, I'm saying, but my thing with these commentaries, sorry, is I get your logic, I get your theory, but what is it based on? Does that make sense?
The Bible.
Yeah, but I mean, how did the guys, the rabbis in the Midrash section of this thing, how did they derive 318 actually meant one?
The reason why they say that is because it says the Hebrew letters of Abraham's servant Eli.
Okay.
The number, the value of his name
It's
is
318.
318. So they're just looking too deep into it potentially. It could
Yeah,
be them
it's
looking
like counting the numbers in your name.
Yeah, it's just them being deep. Whereas in the Bible, it literally says
318 trained men.
It literally says it. It's pretty clear.
Not the man who was called 318.
No,
That's a different
and
story.
look, it's the literal meaning is he's
Trained
trained men.
That's what I'm saying.
So in the Bible, it's enough. That's enough.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. With these commentary guys, I just always like to see like, well,
No, but
okay,
these are just what rabbis are trying to. Sometimes,
these are there.
Sometimes you just want to add some extra sauce.
Yeah,
It could be this. Right.
But I see where he's coming from. But I think it's a bit of a reach.
It's a bit of a reach.
Just a little bit of a reach, in my opinion.
And Melchizedek in Hebrew, it's actually pronounced. Well, the spelling in Hebrew is actually Malkizedek, and it's pronounced in Hebrew Melchizedek. Melchizedek. So in Hebrew, it's actually pronounced like that. And it goes, "My king is righteousness," or "king of righteousness." So.
Oh, hence why it's a foreshadowing.
Yep. Melchizedek is the king of Salem, which later becomes Jerusalem, meaning city of peace. He mysteriously appears on the road, brings out bread and wine, and blesses Abram. He is described as a priest of God Most High. He is a crucial biblical feature because he proves that true knowledge of God existed outside of Abraham's family. Later in Psalm 110 and the book of Hebrews, Melchizedek becomes the ultimate type foreshadowing of Jesus Christ, a figure who holds both the office of king and priest simultaneously without being from the tribe of Levi. It's pretty cool.
And it brings out bread and wine, which is obviously significant of the communion.
Ooh.
That didn't hit you?
That didn't hit me.
I just hit you now, man. Bread and wine. He came out of nowhere, said, let's pop some communion together. Foreshadowing of Christ.
That's pretty cool.
My body in my
Yeah, that's cool. And then
Elyon.
So
I love that name,
Elyon. Elyon, God Most High, Genesis 14:18-19, and Genesis 14:22.
18 to 19?
Yeah.
How do I pronounce it again?
Melchizedek. Are you trying to pronounce it the Hebrew way?
Yeah, I need to honor the name, man.
Melchizedek.
Melchizedek, king of Salem, also went to meet Abram. Melchizedek was a priest for God Most High. He brought wet bread and wine. Melchizedek blessed Abraham and said, Abraham, may God Most High give you blessings. God made heaven and earth. And we praise God Most High. He has helped you defeat your enemies.
Melchizedek blesses Abraham in the name of Elyon, the creator of heaven and earth. In the Canaanite pantheon, El was the supreme father deity. Melchizedek is identifying the absolute highest sovereign power in the universe. Notice Abraham's brilliance in verse 22.
Notice Abraham's brilliance in verse 22. But Abram said to the king of Sodom, I make a promise to the Lord. He is the God Most High who made heaven and earth. I promise you that I will not keep anything that is yours. I'll not even keep a thread or sandal strap. That way you cannot say, I made Abram rich.
When Abram swears an oath to the king of Sodom, he adopts Melchizedek's title but attaches his own covenant name for God to it, saying, I have raised my hand to Yahweh, Elyon. Abram makes sure everyone knows that his specific God, Yahweh, is the Most High God.
I make a promise to God. That's the simplicity of the English. Mm-hmm. I make a promise to God for the Lord. He's the Most High. Yeah.
Okay, so next word here is pronounce. The spelling is MA''ASER. Mayasa. Yeah, a tenth, tithe. Genesis 14:20. Oh yeah, I'm joking. I was gonna start, but let me just shush. Genesis 14:20. Pay your tithes.
Then Abraham gave Melchizedek a tithe of everything he had brought back from the battle.
Okay. Abram gives Melchizedek a tenth of all the recovered plunder. This is the very first mention of the concept of a tithe in the Bible, centuries before the Mosaic law commanded it. Abram gives it voluntarily as an act of worship, which is what we're called to do now. We just do it as an act of worship. It's not
It's not
law.
law.
It's just an act of worship, recognizing that his military victory was actually handed to him by God.
As we give God our finances, we know that it's from him.
It's from him.
Yeah.
Economic context. The 4 Mesopotamian kings had just plundered 5 cities, including Sodom and Gomorrah. The spoils Abram recovered would have been staggering. Wagons full of silver, gold, textiles, captured slaves, and immense herds of livestock. Giving away 10% of the combined GDP of the 5 city-states was an extraordinary transfer of wealth to Melchizedek priesthood in Salem.
So rich priest, boy, pastor.
Okay.
There's a conversation about this happening in a minute. God.
Well, okay, anyways. Behave yourself, babe, okay? The word CHUTVE apostrophe AD SEROKH hyphen NA apostrophe AL. Pronunciation chut ve'ad serek na'al.
You're doing great, sweetie. You're doing great.
I tried.
You're doing
From a thread to a sandal strap. Genesis 14:23.
Oh, sorry. I promise that I will not keep anything that is yours. I will not keep even a thread or sandal strap. That way you cannot say, I made Abraham rich.
The king of Sodom offers Abram a deal. Give me the people, but keep the goods, the wealth for yourself. Abram flatly refuses, swearing he won't take so much as a thread of a shoelace from Sodom, because let's be honest, nobody wants anything from Sodom. Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
Nobody wants anything from Sodom.
That's a good point.
Let's be honest.
You know what? Nothing from that place.
Nothing. You can keep
nothing.
it.
You can keep it, bro.
Keep it with a capital. Yeah. Interesting fact. Abram is playing high stakes ancient politics here. In the ancient Near East, if Abram accepted the wealth of Sodom, the king of Sodom would become his patron. The king could later boast, I am the one who made Abram rich.
Imagine
by refusing.
Sugar daddy.
Wow.
That's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, by refusing even a shoelace. Abram fiercely guards his independence and God's glory, because God will not share glory with anybody. No man. He ensures that his wealth and success can only ever be credited to Yahweh's covenant, not to the corrupt empire of Sodom.
Trust me, you want nothing from that place, man. You don't want nothing from that place.
I don't want it.
We don't want it.
We don't want it.
It looks shiny, it looks nice. I don't want it, man.
I want it.
That's the trouble with it for you. You don't, man.
Keep it, please.
Listen, take all of it.
Take all of it. I don't even want a shoelace.
Just don't take my cousin again. Oh, no, we're going to be here again.
His cousin probably went
back. His cousin went to put his face there, living in that place.
Mind you.
He's meant to be in the mountain.
Mind you, his brother, his cousin, his nephew, we keep saying cousin.
Nephew, cousin, nephew, his nephew, innit?
His nephew went back because keep in mind.
Well, after that, he went, of course, because he hasn't left yet, has he? He's been there for a while, you know. No, I'm just skipping through to see where Sodom and Gomorrah, and that's another 6 chapters. So he went back.
He went back. He was an officer, wasn't he?
After he got captured, you went back. Nah, he was looking for trouble.
He liked it too much.
He was looking for trouble.
He liked it too much.
He was looking for trouble. He was looking for trouble. Yeah, bruv. Well, Genesis 19, we visit him again in Sodom.
Mind you, he likes that place. He likes it.
What is it that was so appealing that you went after the trouble? They captured you. They took your family. You went back.
Keep in mind that it wasn't Sodom that captured him. He went there. himself.
He wasn't ready there because he was captured. He was
Yeah.
captured from Gomorrah, from Sodom, isn't it?
Yeah, no, he was captured from there.
Because he was already
He
in
was
there.
in there.
And then afterwards, he went back
He
there.
went back.
Wow.
So after the war, he went back. Evidently, that is home to him. That's home.
I've got
For him,
questions for you,
Sodom
bro.
is like, Sodom is bay for him. Sodom is bay. Like, he's just like, no, you can't take me from there. No, this is my place.
There was something about that place that must have been so alluring that really messed people up, man. Isn't it? Like, it's like an addiction.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I was going to say something controversial, but let me just keep it to myself. I was going to say maybe he was indulging in some of the stuff.
Maybe.
Because I'm not trying to be funny.
Because his missus looked back. We know that his missus looked back.
Maybe she had somebody that she's looking back to.
Maybe.
I'm just saying. This is very controversial.
It was like you said, it was home. Like the way, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. You must forgive me because I'm about to say this. It's not the same thing, but you know, like for example, across the world, there are a lot of wildfires happening, right? In England specifically right now, there are some wildfires happening in different parts of England. And people's houses are being burned down. So there's a whole idea of, oh my gosh, my house is burning down.
That's your whole livelihood. That's everything you've built from the ground up and then it's just in flames. Like I was watching one family and the lady, you can just tell that she's like, if I don't laugh, I will cry because everything is gone.
Yeah.
Everything is gone. So it's definitely not the same thing, but
in the sense of that's their home.
That's their home. That's gone.
They went there to make their home.
Yeah, and that particular family, they had built it. They had actually built the one that I'm talking about. That she was in the.
She's trying to keep it together.
She was trying to keep it together, and I was just like, oh, it's so heartbreaking, man.
Yeah.
I was just like, God, be her peace, because I don't know how somebody can. How you'll cope with that. All the treasures, all the things that you've, maybe you've gone on holiday, you picked, you've found a particular cup somewhere and you know that you can't find that cup elsewhere. And you just, the reason why I'm using the cup as an example is that, once Mike and I went to, with the boys into Marrakesh and it was pouring down rain, like pouring down rain. Really, really heavy rain. And we sat down in some coffee shop. But right opposite the coffee shop was this cup shop. And it was like these handmade cups. And being a good husband, he saw me looking at those cups.
We bless God.
And Mike was like, do you want me to buy those cups? And I was like, please. So we stayed in the dry cafe. Meanwhile, Mike crossed, it was just a couple steps.
No small crossing.
Yeah.
About 4 or 5 steps.
4 or 5 steps to the...
I survived.
To the cups.
Because the rain was really raining.
Yeah, and then he took some pictures. It's like, which one? Because it was just a place full of beautiful cups. And it's not even like these cups we're going to use to drink. They're just like...
They're just nice cups.
Nice cups to just be like, oh yeah, I bought these cups in Marrakesh. Kind of cute cup type of thing. And she probably picked up all those random things on her trips and all that type of stuff. And if you see the outline of where her house used to be, it must have been quite a substantial home. So I can just imagine all the stuff that she had and now she's lost.
Yeah.
And this is why in the Bible as well, I can't remember, this is Solomon. After he's, keep in mind you, Solomon had what, like 1,000 women. And he was even worshipping.
He went left,
he just
took a right, went round the roundabout.
By the way, can we just have one little conversation about Solomon?
Can
because Solomon, yeah. God gave Solomon wisdom, yeah? But it's like wisdom was chasing him and he didn't, and he decided to run faster. Do you know what I mean? So that wisdom doesn't catch him. Because if he was that wise, mind you, he wouldn't have married 1,000 women and a lot of them being pagan. Yeah? I think he had like 800 wives.
He had more than enough.
Yeah, and then he had something like 200 concubines or something like that. And then most of them were pagans. He actually ended up serving, this is Solomon, the wisest king apparently. He ended up serving Moloch. And if you know anything about Moloch, he ended up serving, by the way, most of these pagan gods. Yeah, so Moloch, Astropole, whatever they call it.
All the pagan
all
gods.
the pagan gods. He was
Well,
serving.
Small G's.
Yeah, whatever. He was serving all of those things. But if you know about Moloch, that means he was the bottom of the barrel type person.
Yeah, he must have
because
chucked a couple of kids.
We would have had to chuck a couple kids into the fire for Moloch. And there was another one that he worshipped, which was a war god, small G, obviously. And that one required blood as well. So he would have had to sacrifice humans in order to appease said pagan god. So I'm not trying to be funny, but if he was so wise, why didn't he use his wisdom to not do that?
I might have a point of view on that. I think it's not that simple.
Also, this is also a controversial take, but I think that Solomon was an addict.
That literally was going. I think it wasn't that simple. I think it was an addict. And the thing with addiction is you're just addicted. You just want it. And let's be honest, his dad liked Gal too. And
At this point, it's generational curse.
it's been a thing since the tribes. They all had 20 billion. Who was the first one? Nimrod. Was it Nimrod? From that moment, everyone just started having concubines and wives. Even Abraham.
In the Bible, it literally says, "Do not collect wives." Basically,
Yeah.
it literally says it in the Bible.
Yeah.
Do not collect. Yet he did.
Because I think it's because
When you're an addict, you just do whatever. Isn't it?
I think when you like girl, when you're thirsty, you just.
But an addict is an addict, isn't it?
Yeah,
And here's
he
the
could
thing,
be addicted
right?
to anything. I think he was just addicted to beautiful women.
To women. And here's the thing, right? With all of that, when women can be quite influential, and let me just use myself as an example, right? I would buy all of the vitamins in this family for the house, right? So I'll buy all the vitamins. I'm the one who makes our cream. I'm the one who buys all the clothes. And Mike, what does he do when he has to get ready? He just goes into the closet and pick one of the things that I bought him. Yeah? Somebody will say to him,
Yes.
"Where did you get it from?" He says, "My wife."
My wife
I
hooked me
know.
up.
Do you know what I mean?
I look good though.
Yeah. But
As well, no man.
with the kids, do the same thing. With the vitamins, if I was a witch, respectfully, Mike can be getting poisoned and he'll be none the wiser because he takes the vitamins
It's trust.
and it's just trust.
She
And
puts it in my hand. I just there you go.
so,
Yeah.
but the thing is, so all these men in the Bible that ended up in the hands of these pagan women,
Yeah.
due to their addiction, it led them down a very dark road. Because if, like, for example, even with Jewish culture, if the woman is not, if she's not Jewish, if the child's mother is not a Jew, then the child is not considered a Jew.
Yeah.
And that's because of how influential the mother is. So, for example, unfortunately, I cannot speak Yoruba. If I was able to speak Yoruba, I promise you my children will be able to speak Yoruba. Yeah? But this is why they call it the mother tongue, right?
It's mom's responsibility.
Because it's almost like the responsibility of the mother tongue, the influence of the mother to make sure that certain languages can be transferred. My mother didn't transfer that language to me, so it's not my fault. It's my mother's fault. Yeah, respectfully. Yeah, if I had the language, I would be able to pass that on to my kids. And I've learned languages before, so I should just learn Yoruba because I know that I have got it in me, so I can probably try. But at this point, the kids are kind of older. If they were babies and I had prioritized, because if I had prioritized learning Yoruba at that time before I had kids, it would have been better because then I would have been able to teach them Yoruba. Do you know what I mean? But
All is not lost.
yeah, but that's just the whole influence of the mother, right?
Yeah.
So if he had 1,000 women, by default, at least 500 of them would be pagan. Yeah. So around him, he's just going to be around. I'm just saying that, just you know, he's used to. And I'm not trying to be funny, but somebody who is not somebody who's not a pagan, and when I say pagan, I'm like, as in somebody who doesn't worship the Most High God, Yahweh, wouldn't decide that they're going to really just go and join a whole harem of women.
This is the thing. I don't think it's that simple. Okay. Solomon was king at a young age. So he was also young.
Yeah.
Started off very young. 2, My guy's rich, man. I think there's something about that boy that made him just lose his head. I'm not convinced, and again, maybe there's evidence of it, but I'm not convinced that he got himself into these entanglements in one...
Marriages, by the way, not just entanglements.
I'm not convinced he got himself in the entanglement over a span of time. I think it happened like in one concentrated amount of time where it was like, oh, I'm rich. I can have this girl. I can have that girl. Too many men in here. More girls. And married all of this. I felt like that's such a young thing to do, especially in that density.
Because when he got older, then he writes in Ecclesiastics, is it?
Yeah, of course, if it is him writing.
Apparently it's not him that wrote it.
The research is like, we don't know if it's him or not.
Yeah, it's true.
But it looks like someone that's very repentant. Like, I've seen all this, and listen, bro.
If it's not him, then really he probably just died being like, "Why?"
But that's the thing. If it's not him, according to the research and the recent video we just watched, it might be someone that's close to him. So like all these kings had their
personal PA, the person that kept history.
They're literally their historical keepers. So it might be him that's just writing all his thoughts down from, like, oh, Ayo, come and sit down here. I've got some thoughts for you. So when the chicken hits the tree. You know,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Write this down. When the chicken hits the tree, just know no eggs will be hatched that day. Write it down. And he's like, when the chicken hits the tree, no eggs will be added that day. Okay, cool. The king said it. It's written.
It's written. It's now the king's words.
It's now the king's words. Put on a t-shirt. But yeah, I think with Solomon, I think his addiction got the best of him. And I think this is where it's so... This is why we are so fortunate on this side of Jesus that we can lean on Holy Spirit. Because I feel like with addictions, if you don't have God to lean on, to guide you and to basically just shield you from the catastrophes of it to an extent, because part of it's also free will.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I don't know where you're going with it.
No, I was going somewhere.
Because even a Christian with the Holy Spirit could potentially still be struggling with addiction.
I was going somewhere with it. Where I'm going is, ultimately, what we will always want as human beings is never going to be good. It never ends in a good way. Example, we learned a couple episodes ago about when I had a thought about, hold on a second, when we get to the Exodus as well, when the Bible says that God hardened Pharaoh's heart. That's what the English Bible said, right? But Hebrew it's not like God hardened his heart. God just gave him over to his own
personal desire.
His own personal desires. And I feel like, in a way, if you're not practicing how to take control of your flesh, that can easily happen.
Yeah. And
you can be the wisest person and marry 1,000 women.
Yeah. And I think that, because we have to also be careful with that as well. Because I feel like as a Christian, it's very easy for a Christian to still, because we're still in this body, right? We've got the flesh, and the flesh is very weak. The flesh has all its desires and wants and blah blah blah,
and it's always leading to.
It's always trying to do something. And
this
is why one of the things that Christians do in order to try to somewhat subdue the flesh is fast. So we fast in order to make the flesh like, no, I'm in control.
I'm in control, fam. You eat when I say you can eat.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So what's interesting is this is completely not the same as Solomon's addiction, but Mike and I had an addiction with sweets. Agreed?
We did.
Agreed?
Fully agreed.
We had a sweet addiction.
We're not too proud to admit that. Yes.
As born again, Bible believing, Jesus, like Holy Ghost.
We could bang a good pack of sweets, man.
Oh my gosh. So
Haribo.
We fasted. It wasn't, by the way, the fast wasn't for the sweet addiction. It was just a normal fast.
Yeah.
But we personally believe, because since that fast, we hadn't consumed sweets. It was a big deal.
It's not like we're choosing to abstain from sweets. It's just that the appetite for the sweets weren't even there.
It wasn't there. And
we haven't thought of it.
And by the way, when I say that we were addicted to sweets.
Every day was sweets. I guess we're confessing, isn't it?
Yeah,
but in our bedroom, we have a secret.
We had
past tense. We had a secret compartment within my wardrobe, because everything's in my wardrobe. Everything gets thrown into my wardrobe, and it's fine. I'm okay with it. It's fine. So within all the junk that blessed throws in my wardrobe, yes, it was you. The only nice little piece of light in my wardrobe is the sweet section, and we have 2 big buckets filled with
It
sweets.
was, yeah.
It was filled. It's empty now for
Yeah.
obvious reasons, but it was filled with sweets. So whatever sweet you want, Haribo,
What else
pinballs, all the Mawams, whatever sweet, millions, cables, and we just bang sweets.
Oh my gosh, especially when it's laundry time as well. Oh my gosh.
Because you got to bang all that laundry. We need something to keep us going.
Keep it going.
Keep the sugar high going.
So,
anyways,
we haven't had sweets now for a good
month and a bit.
Which is a big deal, by the way.
Until
This weekend, we decided that we're going to put Skittles. This is one of the things that people that are sweet addicts do.
This is what we used to indulge in.
Yeah, this is what we used to indulge in. When you go to cinema, you then add Skittles to your popcorn. Yeah, or some type of sweet. We didn't discriminate.
Just to
add a bit more
mix up the
texture,
texture
you know?
and the flavor palette. We bought 2 packs of Skittles, loaded it up,
and I'm just going to be honest with you, it was
hated
disgusting.
It was terrible.
It was disgusting.
I was like,
And now Mike and I were
when did Skittles taste like this?
I was like, what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, that was the down part of the movie, man. So,
I kept whispering to Mike, like, is your Skittles tasting the same way? Mike
yeah,
was like,
just, they taste weird.
Just tastes so
disgusting.
Weird. So basically, God's now made it that we don't like Skittles, which, by the way, it's a big deal because Skittles and us, we used to go together real good.
I've been thinking, one of my favorites has been, you know, the ones I've been talking about recently. I don't want the internet enemies to know, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just shocked. One day, maybe not anytime soon.
You're scared that God's taking that taste away.
Oh man, I feel that one.
I know.
I feel that one might hit me. The skills, I don't really care too tough for the skills. It is what it is. That particular one, if it tastes horrible in my mouth, no.
I'm gonna cry. Because this is the thing where, yes, we haven't had it, and the urge for it has actually gone.
Yeah.
The urge for it is gone, which is big deal. Everyone, somebody who has an addiction of some sort will understand what we mean. Yeah.
Even doing the weekly shop.
Yeah.
We do the weekly shop, go to the sweet section. Pack. Even Reese was like, just pass it.
No. And you know what? So technically, we can say we're 1 month sober of sweets.
Yes.
We technically,
by His grace.
By His grace. Technically, we can say that, but we did technically break that sobriety during the.
It was a celebration.
But
I thought, why not?
The Lord was like,
No.
We ain't gonna open up that kind of worms again. And the thing is, right, before the fast, we did not think that this was something to even think about. You know, people like talk about alcohol, addiction, drug, all these types of things.
Addiction always have to be these big things, isn't it? Yeah.
But then the sweet thing, we used to make it, that was a daily.
No, it's a daily thing. Even when we try to be good,
oh my gosh,
and limit to the weekend. The weekend will recuperate for the days that we missed out in the week on that same weekend.
Oh my gosh, like we had a car stash, we had stashes everywhere, and
what's really bad, isn't it? We say it out loud. We actually did.
It's bad. It's really bad. We have stash everywhere. We'd have a stash everywhere. I'd have it in my bag. Like everywhere we go, there was always the
bag, the car,
everywhere,
the wardrobe,
bags,
plural.
We made sure that there was no bag untouched. Like every.
Hopefully, we didn't go super commando and just like stick it under the table, like. Sweets.
Yeah, no.
There's parts of the fridge that were just hidden for our
pleasures,
for our chilled sweets.
But we thought that we were being slick, but then the boys would be like, "Can we have some of your car sweets?" Because they used to call it car sweets. Can we have some of your car sweets? No,
definitely not.
Definitely not. Because we just didn't want to share. Good words for you.
Yeah, and also, let's be honest, those guys on the sugar high is not the one.
It's not it. Dealing with them with a sugar high is not it at all.
No. They have their moments when they're allowed to have their sweets, just so they're not fully thirsty.
So that they're not out here going places acting like they've never had sweets before.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, let them have their moments. But as for us,
in the confines of our home when we're not going outside. But if you're going in the car and you ask for car sweets, that's alluding to us going somewhere. Because we're in a car going somewhere.
Let you act the fool
outside
because you got sugar
in your system.
If you don't have
sweets, you have it in the confines of your own home where you can then act however you want to act.
Yeah, if you want to walk on the ceiling, walk on the ceiling. I will not be here though, but walk on the ceiling.
That's fine. Do that, but not when we go outside in public. But yeah, so that's our testimony.
Yeah, and as you were saying that, it made me think about Genesis chapter 19-ish, Lot's wife. And the question is,
What was she leaving behind?
yeah, but question is, if God said, drop everything, drop this life you're living right now, and walk forward, don't look back, would you be tempted to look back?
From
I
this
think
one, this particular life, yes.
No. I'm just
Turn around. I won't look back.
I'm painting
for
the
this one.
picture.
I'll keep
I'm
going.
painting. Mind you, Lot arrived in Sodom or
I know,
wherever
but
he
what I'm
arrived.
saying,
He's
if
loaded.
God tells me right now, because there's nothing.
Yeah, no.
really-
I'm not talking about right now. I'm talking about in a situation where you've arrived, you're loaded, you built this life for yourself, and God says, leave it alone, walk forward, don't look back. I think everyone will be tempted to look back. Especially like we was having a discussion about those people who built their house and now it's on fire.
Yeah.
You would look back, isn't it?
Yeah.
And even like we're even looking back right now in the sense of we've left the sweets, but I was like, oh, we used to have Skittles, And even me thinking, oh my gosh, if God takes away that particular other sweet, I think I'm gonna
Cry.
It's idealism.
It's
idealism, isn't
bad.
it? It's so bad.
But at least it's good for us to be transparent with it. But this
Yeah.
is why we surrender ourselves. We're like, Lord, do as you did last. With it, we say it'll be. We don't want him to take that one away, but he's kind of already taken it away because we would have already had by the. This is what we're recording the middle of the week. But at this point, we would have at least had 5 packets.
It's true. And we did the shop last weekend.
We didn't.
We would have gone to that particular shop that sells the big tube of it as well.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. You've already given it away of what it is.
No, I don't think I have lots of sweet sold in tubes.
But yeah. So guys, I don't know where that conversation came from, but it's just a random one. Solomon, every time people talk about Solomon, I'm just like, like you have that one story when he told the mother and
to slap the baby into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the one story.
That's some good wisdom right there.
That was some good wisdom right there. But then everything else, I'm like, everything else points to stupidity because you're saying you've got 1,000 wives, you served Moloch and all these other things. I'm like, this is not giving wisdom, it's giving stupidity. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it is what it is.
Let's ask a question. How I've just asked the internet, how long was Solomon roughly?
No, how old?
How old was he, or how young? How old was he when he was king? Approximately, roughly
20
years old. That sounds like something he would do in his 20s. Think of all this, mind you, in the brain hasn't connected together, at 20. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I think that's a bit of a stretch.
We're just trying to. Well, basically, we're doing silent reading, forgetting we're on the air.
Yeah.
We'll let you know what we're reading. We have not verified this information. No. It's just Google. Yeah. It's AI overview. It says the Bible does not explicitly state Solomon's exact age when he became king. Traditional commentaries and calculations estimate he was roughly 20 years old based on his 40-year reign and the age of his son Rehoboam when succeeding him. While other historic and rabbinic traditions suggest that he may have been as young as 12 or 14. Yeah? Cool. So around 20 years old, for the argument for around 20 years old, many scholars deduce this age because Solomon's son and successor Rehoboam was 41 years old when he began to reign immediately after Solomon's 40-year reign, implying Solomon was a young adult in his 20s when he took the throne. When addressing God, Solomon famously called himself a little child. This is 1 Kings 3, chapter 3, verse 7. Which most historians interpret as a metaphor for his deep humility and inexperience rather than a literal statement of childhood. Yeah, we're all little children when it comes to...
Like we said, we're child of God.
We're just children, innit? Anyways, for the argument for age 12, certain rabbinic commentaries and traditional timelines, such as teachings featured by Chabad.org, look it up, I don't know, trace that the chronological events surrounding King David's final years conclude that Solomon was crowned at 12 years old. The argument for age number 14 says that the first century historian Flavius Josephus, one name, Flavius, suggested that in his writings that Solomon was 14 years old when he inherited the throne. So let's just say the guy was at least, at the very most, 20 years old.
And the thing is, if he was 20, if it was 14 is not necessarily a stretch, I guess, because if you think about it, he wasn't the assumed successor. because he had older siblings that could have easily been king.
True.
But he wasn't the assumed successor. He was only the successor because he's the one that I guess David liked.
Yeah.
But he wasn't the because that's
Bathsheba's son, isn't it?
yeah. But he wasn't the. But
It's an interesting story, actually.
Yeah. But he wasn't the assumed successor based on his position in the sense of he had older brothers that could have easily been
King. In
But
fact, one of them already planted himself as king.
Yeah, but before then, one of his brothers decided that they're going to off everyone and decide, I'm going to say that I'm king, and then then Solomon's mother, I believe, was like to David, excuse me.
We had a deal here.
Yeah.
Because the amount of things I went through, paraphrasing, of course. That this is the one thing you can at least give me is make my son king. And he was like, listen, you're my babes. It's done. Because David liked gal as well. Imagine David was just a humble little shepherd boy. By the time he became king, he had a couple wives already.
He lost his head. Yeah, he lost his head.
That's what I'm saying.
That position, because before he became king, he had already won several wars. And I'm sorry, but a lot of women would want to associate with victory, with a champion.
I see it.
Let me associate. They didn't even care if he was going to be king or not. He's victorious.
He's
a winner. I like winners.
It's true. We like winners.
We like winners. So I'm assuming that he collected them based on that. Like, how you doing?
Yeah. Spoils of war.
Spoils of war.
Mm-hmm.
Spoils of war.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was one story where was it the wife was a widow, or the wife's husband treated her poorly and he had to get rid.
Yeah, Nabal. What am I fighting in? I think it was Nabal, right? And Abigail.
And then Abigail.
Abigail, right?
She became, and then shortly after.
Yeah, Abigail and David, and her husband was Nabal. Yeah. And Nabal was silly.
It's not a nice guy.
Oh, that's not the right Abigail.
He's not nice. He wasn't a nice guy. So David was like, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to get rid of him. But you'll be my wife afterwards. Don't worry.
And when he goes, you can come party with me. Yeah. And that was his second wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool, man. But and apparently she was wise and all that stuff.
Yeah, she was just wise.
But yeah, man. So guys, we've probably spoken your head off.
I've got one more thought.
Okay.
Do you know what? It just came to mind. I just feel like I need to say these things.
Okay.
So talking about David's wives, right? So we some time ago we watched The House of David.
Yeah.
A lovely production, amazing.
100% recommend.
MGM backed, Amazon money. They did the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they portrayed his relationship with Mirab, which is one of Saul's daughters, right? So obviously, David was on the run, paraphrasing here. David was on the run, so it was in the Bible as well. David was on the run, and he was like, yeah, Mirab, let's go. And she was like, yeah, no, I can't leave my dad because that's not how we do. So he's heartbroken, he kind of goes away into the wilderness on the run kind of thing. 2 years now, years later, comes back, reunites with Mirab, yeah?
He doesn't give her any kids.
No, it's not like...
She doesn't want to.
This one go. I don't think it's not that she doesn't want to. I just think she can't. Do you know why?
Because God said that
Saul's dynasty will not be continued. So therefore, that gate was shut.
Yeah.
Well, no matter what happened was not going to happen.
The door was closed. Yeah.
And I just thought, ooh. Yeah, and you know what's deep? So you know the other one, the other daughter. What's the other daughter's name? Michal, right? So you had Mirab and you had Michal, or the other way around. Anyway, Michal gradually got married because she was painted as a misunderstood daughter, and she wanted love. She ends up getting married. She has 5 kids. Yeah.
But they
all end up getting unalived. Yeah. All of them at once.
And I think also the one that is David's friend, his son, Jonathan's son, ended up being disabled, isn't it?
Yeah, so but apparently,
and he was looked after by David.
Yeah, but apparently I think his lineage continues a bit.
Yeah.
But actually, there's no evidence that his lineage continued. But it was insinuated in some commentaries that he still had a little family of his own. But I just thought that was so fascinating.
Yeah.
I thought it was fascinating how, that there's no evidence of or records of Mirab ever having children.
It's a shame.
And on top of that, she didn't like when David was dancing and his clothes were all falling off, and she just thought it was very indignant.
She was
and
cringed out. She had the ick.
She had the ick. Can you imagine? Do you know everything he went through for this chick to get this chick's hand and married, and she has the ick?
He had to cut how many foreskins?
Bruv. Let's just be honest. He went through it.
He went through it.
So I think David's conquest or David's collection of women was due to heartbreak. I feel if Marab had ran away with him, they would have had the me against the world, us against the world mentality.
Take.
And then they would be cool.
Think so. I think David had
because David, it's not like Jesse had 20 wives. His dad, his wife, Jesse had one wife who died. Wait, he had. I can't remember the story.
No, because David is a child from the second.
Yeah. Okay. So it still lives in the bloodline somehow. It's just that
it's not
Jesse didn't have 20 of them. He just had one.
Yeah.
But the other one, according to the to the series, it just didn't work out. So therefore, the one he really loved was David's mum. All right, this might just be boiled down to people getting married just for kingdoms merging.
I feel like what was common back then when it came to kings, they had concubines and all this stuff because they wanted to make sure that regardless, there's a heir. So it wasn't even a thing of them doing it out. Most marriages weren't for love. It was a strategic partnership. They were doing this for, to keep peace in certain places. So a lot of these marriages weren't just, they weren't for love. It was just so that they can protect themselves.
Yeah. But Jesse already had 5 sons.
Some of these marriages came with war and came with soldiers because if you marry if somebody marries into Abraham's family, then it came with 318 men.
Let's be honest. We're gonna read about Isaac very soon.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is that a lot of these kings, they just married for strategic reasons. So if they married one person, they thought, okay, if I'm marrying this woman, I'm gonna get all these things or soldiers that are attached to her, so it's beneficial, and that means they can't fight me because I've got their princess or whatever.
And then they find the one they love and it ruins everything.
Yeah, but they just have that one. I'm sorry, but Solomon, out of 1,000, which one?
There must have been one.
Out of 1,000, he's exhausted.
I think it was the Queen of Sheba.
Exhausted, mate. Exhausted. How could 1,000? 1,000, not like insatiable. 1,000?
I think you like the Queen of Sheba. Just my paraphrasing brain, and we're not there yet, but we can explore it closer to time. But it feels like the dialogue that they had, and there was no explicit dialogue in the Bible, but there was it felt like she was the one who challenged his intellect, and he's just like, you just meet another woman, and you're having conversations, and then she challenged your intellect. You're like, interesting you think that. I like your mind. I think they like each other's mind, but because of whatever alliances or political, geopolitical, whatever, they couldn't do the thing. So he's just out there trying to find Sheba through these 1,000 women. He never finds her. My mind can just go to different avenues, the multiverse of the Bible.
There's so many different, because it's like, what if this, what if that? Yeah.
Just like your Darcy's. Different conversation there.
It's not the Pride and Prejudice. Basically, Pride and Prejudice. I've listened to probably
lost count now, isn't it?
But so many different remakes of Pride and Prejudice. So many,
and they're all brilliant.
Ones. They're all brilliant. Every single one of them. I don't get bored of. I don't get bored of it at all. But yeah,
look how good he makes her.
Leave it alone. But yeah, I do like a bit of Regency. It's cool.
Yeah, man.
Cool. But yeah, man.
Nice chat.
Now
we're going to pump some iron.
Yes.
Wow, what's the time? Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad. It was daytime when we started. It's now nighttime. That's how long we'll be talking. Here's what is.
Yeah. Daytime-ish.
It was twilight. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Remember to love the Lord with all your mind, all your soul. So, remember to love the Lord with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul, and lean not on your own understanding. And remember to love your neighbor as you love yourself.
And behave yourself.
Thank you, guys. Bye.